Hello friends, as always hated chipmunks, and now feels justified in that hatred here, bringing you another Dota 2 video on the most garbage, overrated builds in 7.28 that people are for some reason still doing, even though the win rates are abysmally low. But in any case, without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, so the first clip that I want to show you is from a pub that I played yesterday, where I had a Vengeful Spirit mid who rushed this Aghanim Scepter because people are so fascinated with this idea of never being able to die that they're perfectly willing to ruin games just to be permanently alive. But in any case, I want to take a look at what this Aghanim Scepter actually achieves once you finally get it. And I do want to say, this guy actually won the mid lane. He was a higher level than the Ember Spirit that he was laning against after the laning stage ended. And then he just completely fell off because this hero has no good way of farming. So here's the team fight right after he finally gets this Aghanim Scepter, and I guess the idea is, now that he creates this illusion when he dies, I'm gonna walk in and feed. Which, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense, because like, why the hell would you buy this item if you're not going to die? Because it only gives you an effect if you die. But it doesn't make any sense because he's the mid laner, so you shouldn't be playing to die. So he walks in, he dies. You can see that the illusion is completely pathetic. It's basically like the old illusion. So he just walks around and, I don't know, kind of casts spells on them while they're high grounding us. And then he respawns because it's like, well, oh shit. You can't, I don't respawn in the, you always respawn on this thing. So if they don't kill it, you're just stuck out on the map. So they just kill him again. And now our mid laner has died twice in a row since getting the Aghanim Scepter. He has almost doubled his death count. And look how pathetic the damage is. He can't even block the Earth Spirit roll because it's an illusion. Okay, pushing out the mid lane very slowly because, well, it's a Vengeful Spirit. Can't catch this guy because the base hero sucks. I mean, you have a generic magic missile, stun, nuke. You have a nuke, and then you have Nether Swap that has a long cooldown and only one charge now. I don't know why they removed that, the double charge. Okay, so he goes in. Almost is able to kill a position 5 Crystal Maiden. Unfortunately, because he rushed an Aghanim Scepter, he does no damage. Boom, he's dead again. Great. Now we can finally play Dota. This is going to be super fun. I'm going to cut this creep wave here. Oh, never mind, I'm going to go jungle. Uh-oh. What do you do now? If the enemy team is literally just hunting you and kiting you while your illusion is out, they know that you're going to respawn on it, right? And if you're a Vengeful Spirit that has an Aghanim Scepter, you're probably a core Venge. So this is actually worth it to do. And because it's an illusion, he can't use items to get out of this. He can't BKB, he can't Force Staff, he can't Quelling Blade out of the Treant Sprout, and he's just dead again. They actually just kite the guy. So all I have to say about this build is that it's a huge bait. You can't even pick up damn bounty runes. The fact that this is an illusion and that you can only cast spells but not cast items makes it extremely bad as a core position. But as a support Vengeful Spirit, having the Aghanim Scepter, I feel like 4,200 gold is probably better spent on something like a Vlad's plus a mech or basically any other item, because what's the point in permanently living and respawning if the base hero is garbage? Okay, so the next garbage thing in 7.28 that I want to talk about is Aghanim Shard on Sand King. And I think there's a lot of garbage Aghanim Shards out there. I think you have to be really careful buying these because it can be a huge waste of 1,400 gold at an important point in the game. But this one in particular has kind of triggered me because I think Sand King's actually a really good hero now because of this epicenter change that you can now cancel it. So I think the hero is really good. But I personally, as you can see from this replay, I personally have been baited into buying this Aghanim Shard, and farming this camp just looks so pathetic. Like, look how much I have to run around just to get this thing to pulse for 140 damage. Honestly, in the time that it takes me to run 700 units farming a camp to get that epicenter pulse damage, I could have just right-clicked for the equal amount of damage that it does. So it really doesn't make sense. And even going in like this on a Crystal Maiden, I only get 1 pulse with my Burrow Strike, and it's only 140 damage. That's like 2 ticks of Sandstorm. It feels really bad because the moment you go into a fight, usually you get disabled anyway, or you're just kind of standing there at the side of your sandstorm. You don't really want to walk around too much because you might walk into sentries. You might walk into the enemy team after they've dusted you. Like I said, the idea behind this hero is that once you go in, you would like to stand at the side of your sandstorm. That is what people do on this hero. It's what people do when they defend towers. It's what people do when they go into team fights. So really, this Aggro Shard just doesn't make sense with how people play Sand King. And that's not even the worst part about this Aggro Shard. It's not only useless in practice, but it actually detriments you because it literally shows in fog. So you can no longer be that subtle, side-laning, stunning, ganking guy, because if the enemy team just moves their camera to where they think that you are, if you are moving at all, it will confirm that you're there. If you want to smoke subtly across the map, it's not going to work. Once you buy this Aggro Shard, you lose all subtlety on this hero. So I want to show you this clip of this Earth Spirit. He knows that I'm up here. I've been cutting waves. I've been being as much of an asshole as I possibly can to try to delay this game. And so you can see that he's kind of seeing me with it. It's helping him chase me, but it's not like he's literally chasing because he sees the animation. But then if you watch now, he's literally pinging it. He can see the damn animation. There it is. He pings. He sees me in there. The only reason he's able to chase me here is because he sees the epicenter animation and then he just pings it in fog. The next bad build slash hero that I want to talk about is Keeper of the Light. And so the first clip that I want to show you is just kind of how useless the base set of abilities that Coddle has are. The most useful thing that I would say that he has is this recall, because it's a 15-second delay teleport cooldown. Like, that's pretty good. You can send somebody to Fountain, but this new Solar Bind ability, people can just TP away from you. People can orb away from you. If there's a Queen of Pain, if there's a Slark, if there's a Puck, if there's a Void, if there's any hero that has any sort of mobility ability, Force Staff, anything, you can easily get away from this Solar Bind. And the other abilities that Coddle has, sure, Illuminate is good for pushing out waves, but so many heroes can do that in this patch. You have your Linas, you have your Shadow Shamans, like basically every Pause 5 and Pause 4 can shove lanes. So it's not exactly a scarce resource to be able to push out lanes. So Illuminate is not that good. Chakra Magic, if there are heroes that really benefit from this, it is good. But your Bristlebacks, like these heroes that would normally combo with Coddle, they're bad. Nobody's playing Ember Spirit side lane. These classic Coddle combos are still not being played. The only reason that I can see for why somebody would want to pick Coddle in 7.28 is the Aghanim Scepter upgrade. The 60-second cooldown Willow Wisp. If this Willow Wisp was the same as the previous Coddle's Willow Wisp, this actually would be OP. It would be totally okay that the base hero is not that good, because the Aghanim Scepter would be so good that it's totally worth it to sit in side lanes and push until you get this item. But the problem with this is that you can still use items and you can still use abilities when you're Will-O-Wisped. So you can BKB, you can use mobility abilities such as Queen of Pain's Blink, such as Slark's W or his Q. You can BKB, you can see CK just BKBs this in this fight. So it is not remotely worth 4,200 gold to get this item, because by the time that you get it, if it is going to be a problem, which it probably isn't because the enemy team is likely to have some sort of heroes that can get out of this thing, but if it is going to be a problem, then you can build a BKB or a Force Staff or a Yule's or anything that's going to protect you from this thing, because you can just use anything during the Will-O-Wisp. So all I really wanted to say in this video is that if you are going to try some new meta thing, if you're going to try some hero because of the Aghanim Scepter, because of the Aggro Shards, because of some rework that they got, make sure to go to dotabuff.com/trends, go to Dota 2 Pro Tracker, and look at the win rates of these heroes first. If you value your MMR, there are some obvious winners and there are some obvious losers of this patch. There are some heroes that are undecided. Those are the ones I'm not talking about. Maybe certain heroes are good, you know, Lycan, Pudge, I don't know, things are up in the air. Maybe there's some crazy build you can do on them where it will work. But this Coddle hero, this Sand King Aggro Shard, there are certain things that are very much so driving the win rates of these heroes down. And that is something that you can very literally verify by going to these links. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to check out your boy streaming the patch, I will be streaming every night over at twitch.tv/420Jenkins. I will also be releasing hero tier lists for all of the positions on my Patreon. Link is in the description below. If you want an update on the hobo situation, there are some legally binding contracts that have been put in place, and that's why I've been streaming a lot more lately, because that's something that is not actually owned by this Flanagan, vicious hobo organization empire that's out there, and it's essentially, corporately owns me at this point. But in any case, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in another video.